So this is it, the final episode of Surviving Man Season 1. Before we get started, however, there is one piece of unfinished business to take care of. You remember episode 5, the land nav? At the start of that, Leif Horton from Texas Tactical offered the winner of the land nav a very special prize, the Fold AR. That winner was Daniel Robeson. And though we showed Daniel winning, we never got to see him with the prize. So to set the record right, I recently caught up with Daniel via Zoom to talk about his new gun. So what was it like to get the Fold-R?
I got it here and I took it out to shoot it, and it was awesome. I shot through a clip or two of it and ran smoothly, so it is a sweet gun.
And now you have the rewards of your hard work.
Yeah, that made it all worthwhile for sure.
Right on, man. And now, the season finale.
This morning, there are no more points given out at this point, okay? It's all mission planning, mission prep, and mission. So we switched gears. We went from training to mission prep, and now you're going on a mission. What I would like to do is if we could have the following people come up. Nate Bailey, Ray Helms, John Hayes, Chris is here, Nick Ryan, Landon Church, David Veazey, Nathan Ingrail, Jen Stankos, and Cody with a K. I think the top 10 points leaders right now. Nice job, nice job.
The top 10 contestants of Surviving Man listed in alphabetical order. The actual winner of the season was not announced until the end of the mission, and because he was the last announced team leader, Chris Sway would continue to lead the team for the mission.
The team received a warning order. We have to form up a team in a small amount of time. It's a hostage rescue team, and the target is located in the desert in this region. The team received this warning order, and that's all they had to go on. In the military, when you're training, you're always training for a mission that could come up. You never take it for granted that this is just a training mission. Every mission you learn so much from. And the SEAL teams are SOPs, our standard operating procedures. They're written in blood because people have been hurt or killed in the past because something was done one way. We do everything we can to adjust it so that same mistake doesn't happen again. And of course, wartime combat missions, it's chaos often, and you can't prevent all deaths and all injuries, but you do your best to prevent as many as you can. When you're training for these missions, you play and you train as if though it's for real. The weapons are going to be issued to us later this morning, so we'll give you an ammo and a weapons count of what you'll be receiving. The bad news I heard is there is a lot of enemy personnel in the area. And for you patrolling and going through a mission in daylight, it's against you. So we're going to try to use the berms, try to use everything you can to camouflage up, staying off the main road, staying away from people, because however many you decide to send on the mission, we got to keep you as low-key as possible. Small unit tactics, SEALs, Rangers, people like that, what they try to do is get in and get out without anybody knowing they're there. That's what we hope will happen on this mission. But there will be people looking for you, and if they see you in an obvious location, you're going to get shot up. You do need to have medical gear with you. And because it's a hostage rescue mission, you do need to be able to secure the hostage and treat the hostage and maybe anybody else you come across.
What you want to focus on face camo are the parts of the face where the sun's going to reflect off. And on the insides of his eyes, we want those to be lighter, okay? So all it's doing is breaking up the outline of the face. On the top of the hill, it will take an extra second for them to realize that that's a human being. So close your eyes. So for his eyes right here, I'm going to make those lighter. Desert camo, it's kind of harder to see. If it was jungle camo, it'd be a lot, the definition would be there.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Nice job. You look good with makeup on.
Yeah, America's Next Top Model.
So this is the general principle right here. This is the high parts of his face are darker, the low parts of his face are lighter. All right, guys. So that's the general principle. If you want to start applying face camo, go ahead.
Makeup.
Put dark everywhere that's high, put light everywhere that's low. Just try to make yourself end up being as flat as possible.
Try to cover the wrinkles.
How's my makeup?
What do you think? You don't see me?
Indivisible.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
On the day of the final exercise, we met in the briefing room and we were given the details of the mission. And we had received some intelligence prior to that mission, but the final briefing was given an hour before we were supposed to toe the line.
You can't give all the information at one time because if it's compromised or found, the enemy, the opposing force, may have all the information and you can have your whole assault team killed, worst case scenario. So what we tend to do is give a little bit of information at a time. First is the warning order. This is what you have to expect. A mission in the desert, a hostage rescue. We just did get some more information and I'd like to give it to you all. The floor plans, we can't find anybody who's got floor plan information. So it's an unknown floor plan. You're going in for hostage rescue, live fire, and an unknown floor plan. The medical condition, poor. He's been in captivity for 7 days. They're bringing him out, practicing mock executions. They've been beating him up, they've been torturing him. He's not in good shape. You need a good combat medical team there. He's probably gonna be combative. He's probably not gonna know who you are. Make sure you got ties, the hoods, everything you need for hostage rescue. You have a drop dead time to hostage. He's got to be turned over by 1800 this evening. We can't let our guards down. You're on a mission, and it's a live fire mission. Whoever your CQB team is going to be, it's going to be a two-person entry. That two-person entry team will be given 9mm rounds to go with the 9mm pistols. If he's injured, you're going to have to treat him. You might have to make a makeshift stretcher. You might have to do two-man carries. The goal is this guy has to be kept alive, and you have to get him out of there. He's due to be executed as soon as the sun goes down. All his practice executions have taken place right before dark. And he's been coming out in an orange suit, down on his knees, and they're coming up with him with a weapon or a knife up to his throat. It's been all propaganda. But what we're hearing now is tonight's the night it's going to be execution. And that's why we're forming this up real fast. If we don't have him at that point, the mission may be called off. He's a fairly large man, and he's angry, and he's beat up, and he's been tortured. We need to get this guy out. Keep in mind, he's not a friendly American. He was a bad guy on the Americans' payroll. We were getting information and intelligence from this guy. We were paying him. We knew he was a bad actor, but then we recently found out he's working with the terrorist cell, plotting to attack U.S. facilities. He's not a good man. We got to keep him alive, though. You're going to turn him over to a government official. That government official will give you that extraction point, and he's representing this government. And we have the last bit of equipment we're going to introduce to you. And the reason for this is because you may want to elect to use these weapons or this equipment on your next mission, and that's the point of this.
Traditionally, weapons have all activated illuminators with pressure switches. But we all know that when you illuminate the enemy, you reveal yourself. When you reveal yourself, what better place to have your trigger finger than on the trigger? That's how you activate this technology. SEAL teams, Delta, Rangers, when they breach, when they go through the door, their fingers are on the trigger and they're having to squeeze without pulling. This eliminates that. So the button is always there. If you want to highlight something, if you want to see something, if you want to illuminate something, and it's not a lethal threat, your finger's already on a button. This is what you want to have in your hands if the enemy is in front of you and it's a low light situation. Trigger safety on a Glock is ready made for this technology, so all we did was capture the motion of the trigger safety and feed it forward into a laser. This allows someone with excellent shooting skills to see exactly what he's doing when he brings the pistol forward. When he touches the trigger, it activates the laser. It allows someone with very minor shooting skills to hopefully target the enemy, because the last thing in the world they're thinking about if somebody's coming through that bedroom door is that button.
So this is a Bounce 360 degree ball camera. You guys want to hold it? Bounce it. Hey, not through the wall right now.
Feels like it's...
You won't break it.
So again, I'm Lee Ford with Texas Tactical. I'm here to show you another tactical innovation for your mission success later this afternoon. I'm going to introduce Brody Merritt, and he's going to walk you through the Bounce 360.
So we have the Bounce 360 right here. It's a 360 degree camera ball. It has 7 lenses, 1 internal camera. It has Wi-Fi inside of it, so you can connect to it with any device. It connects to the ATAC system. It works off the mesh system. You have a bunch of different views. You have the panel view, as you can see. You can do wide angle. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can do IR, night vision. Durable, waterproof up to 60 feet.
So if I was to roll this into
you're not going to break it.
a room full of hostages and bad guys,
Yes, sir.
as soon as they figure out potentially where we're looking at them and how we're talking to them, they might try to destroy it, right?
Correct. Yep, absolutely.
You can go back on that recording and still see everything it saw before it was destroyed.
Which is intel that could be invaluable in solving the situation.
Tactically, you can get this into a room. Before the assaulters go in, they get a good eyes on what's going on in that room.
Correct. Or even if you know where they're going to be, you can stick a magnet on it.
Natural disaster scenarios, you could drop this into or put this into an area, say the bridge collapse or building collapses, you could get it in there and have an idea if there are living people.
Yeah.
What the situation is.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Very cool.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Randy Couture, the man, okay. I'm so excited to be here. So grateful for you to have us here.
Our Mixed Martial Arts Training Center, Extreme Couture MMA, about 5 years ago, we recognized that the transition, whether you're a professional athlete or a soldier, when you walk away from that piece of your identity, it's a very difficult thing to do. There's a lot of guys that struggle, so we kind of tried to create a safe place, number one, where they could train. Something about sweating, working out together, and most of them to a man will say, oh man, you should have seen me when I was in uniform. I was in great shape, now look at me. So making them feel a little better about themselves, but mostly working out next to somebody, whether you know them or not, once you sit down after that workout and talk, you're a little more connected, a little more likely to open up.
So the mission commander was given the task, you must now put together a team. Hopefully the strengths are surgical shooters, long gun shooters, snipers, people can do reconnaissance and surveillance, people can do combat medicine, and you find out these strengths and these weaknesses of people, and they have to be inserted on the team to fulfill those roles.
As leader, I had to make a decision on the elements and how they were going to kind of orchestrate. And what I did to select the teams was to find people with prior expertise in small unit tactics. We were divided into small teams, and those teams were specialty teams. The assault teams were specifically led by assaulters in their prior careers. Certainly Nick was the high performer coming from his background in terms of being able to lead small units through the field. And then Lance also has a history with leading small teams. And so we were able to make a mission plan. We were able to send small units out that could operate independently, but still achieve the commander's intent without having to micromanage those people. And as commander, I was able to stay with the quick reaction force behind those elements so that we were able to cover and maneuver, if necessary, as they were executing those elements.
Had to navigate to where their next intel was going to come from, the next piece of information was coming from. Now you have to navigate to that cache, place your team out there so they can stay for X amount of time, sometimes for days, just observing that target, looking at the target through the scopes of their rifles. The information in that cache couldn't be left anywhere. It had to be left in a place that was difficult to retrieve. And they found out it was this tower, and that cache site required reconnaissance and surveillance and security around the site for the climbers to go up and retrieve that cache. They had to get this little box, and that gave them further instructions for where the target was located and what the hostage looked like. They got that information, they relayed it over to the mission commander, and now the mission commander has more information to put together the assault plan.
Moving!
So, AS2 is going to get up on the berms, pull security. Once they're set, they're going to give me a thumbs up. We're going to creep up to the top of this hill. Once they're set, we're going to flow in. Alpha, followed by Bravo team.
We had assault teams that were staged to make an assault based on the intelligence that our scout teams were collecting and relay that information back to our teams, information that led us to a house where a hostage was reportedly being held captive. Relaying that information, we were able to maneuver the team such that they could get in position to raid the house and retrieve the hostage.
Close quarters battle, CQB, that is an art and a science combined. Every time you do CQB, it's different. Every time you come up to a door that has to be breached, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You don't know if there's people sitting there with machine guns aimed at the door waiting for an assaulter to come in. They commandeered a vehicle. They took a vehicle from a local held the weapon up to the driver. Ow, 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 ow.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Turn away! Turn away! Turn away! Get down! Put your hands behind your back! Covered. Get hands behind your back! Hands behind your back! Right there. You can't take my charge. Not your concern right now.
¡Ay! ¡Ay, gringo, que chinga si quieres! Get the car, get the car. No, the car.
They have to get off the X. They have to get that wounded hostage in the back of the truck and keep that guy alive.
Let me get outside. I need to check that arm. All right. No, get in.
They put him in back of a hotbed pickup truck, and they're doing tactical combat casualty care treatment on the hostage en route to the government official.
Randy Couture, the man, okay? So excited to be here. So grateful for you to have us here.
Our Mixed Martial Arts Training Center, Extreme Couture MMA, about 5 years ago, we recognized that the transition, whether you're a professional athlete or a soldier, when you walk away from that piece of your identity, it's a very difficult thing to do. There's a lot of guys that struggle, so we kind of tried to create a safe place, number one, where they could train. Something about sweating, working out together, and most of them to a man will say, oh man, you should have seen me when I was in uniform. I was in great shape, now look at me. So making them feel a little better about themselves, but mostly working out next to somebody, whether you know them or not, once you sit down after that workout and talk, you're a little more connected, a little more likely to open up.
This is a little ahead of schedule, and we just got to make sure the government official knows we're coming. Huts report, hostages. 1, wounded in action. Terrorists, all killed in action. Team, assault team, all okay. Okay, we'll report back. There's a road up here on the right. The White House. Call Brad. Hey, Brad. They are a bit ahead of schedule. You're going to be in place. I'll get my act together. Over there. Okay.
Stop resisting!
My leg!
Bro, if you quit f***ing off!
You on top of my leg! God damn it! Going this way, we'll see the White House off to the left.
They take the truck. Fortunately, it was a good place to continue the treatment of the hostage who's been beaten up, and he had quite a few injuries. And they're trying to make it to the government officials' location. That was our safe zone.
Gordito! Pablo Rodriguez! I got information! I got information for your boss.
Stop struggling!
Call Jan.
Ready to die.
This is Jan.
Jan, government official has us in view, and we just had communication with him. We're delivering the hostage. He's getting some medical care.
Okay, I got you. I'm flying out.
Okay, roger that.
Hold on.
little difficult to get to.
Yeah.
I'd say anywhere here's good. Thanks, Lance.
Okay. Stand by to move.
Hey, I'm gonna cut your legs free. If you struggle, you regret it.
Let me talk to your boss.
Sit up and you can talk to my boss.
No,
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Pablo, let's go. Up.
Come on. Come on, girls. Don't let me fall. Don't let me fall.
Don't struggle. You
Don't
won't
let me
fall.
fall. Hold. I got it. Down. Okay. That's it.
Nick, hand.
Bring him up front.
Your mother is Bruce Jenner. Your mother is Bruce Jenner.
Right in front of the rocks, right up here. Right there.
You guys.
Right here to the down.
Oh,
We have Pablo Rodriguez here. He is a little banged up, but this is your hostage.
Down on your knees.
This is the man you needed. He has not given up any information to our men, but he is for you to take from our hands.
Let me see his face. Oh, yeah. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Keep looking at me.
I'm looking at you, pendejo.
Yeah, this is definitely the guy. If you can believe it, this piece of work is actually a high-value asset of the U.S. government. And I totally appreciate you guys rounding him up for us.
This team was put together. They went through a rigorous selection course, worked hard, extremely hard for the last 8 days. We have one of the leaders right here. This is one of the men who led the team. And it was because of him and the strong team is why you have this terrorist in your possession at this point.
Nicely done. You're the man. We'd like to show our appreciation. A little bit of green. Nicely done, nicely done. All right, we're gonna take this idiot from here. You guys are done, head out. Frankly, no need to look back.
Roger that.
As a military grader, the evacuation to the hostage rescue, coming back to actions on the objective, the land navigation, anybody in the military could pick it apart and say, this should have been done better, this could have been done better. True, and that's how we do this, and that's how we get better. But a bunch of civilians mixed in with the military who's never worked together and have mission success in saving a hostage's life, and they turned over the hostage. Mission success.
After mission success, we met, we discussed how the mission went. We really didn't miss any beats. It was executed as planned, and we recapped on the event.
This is from the heart, for sure. Every one of you put out 100%. So you are all at the top. The way we set the points, we have a points leader. It doesn't take away from anybody else at all. Chris Wade, could you come on up, please?
I was presented to the class as the winner of the competition.
Chris is a team leader, your mission commander, and he's received the highest amount of points overall for the whole course. At first, we had some conversations. You want to be team leader? Yes, I want to be team leader. But what about my points? I want to be team leader. Chris chose to be team leader over just getting points. He chose to be your leader over putting all his efforts into himself. That was his own decision. He rose to the team leader position, then he had a choice. I'm going to stay here and do everything I can to help you, or the heck with that, I can do much better on my own just looking out after myself. He chose to be team leader, and he still soared, beat all the points, and won this out. My admiration is through the roof for not only Chris, but every one of you. Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations. Good job, man.
Don and Randy had told us, their thoughts, the ups, the downs.
I think that was the most important and most impressive thing that I witnessed. I saw a bunch of people that didn't know each other very well at the start of the 7 days. And I think everybody was out to be in that #1 spot. As things got tougher and the challenges got a little more tactical and the pressure started to turn up a little bit, I saw some of that go away. I saw the group come together and start to lean on each other, rely on each other, and help each other, rather than just a bunch of individuals trying to get the most points. And that was great to see and very impressive. You should all be commended for that camaraderie that you guys developed in the last 7 days. It was pretty cool. So great job.
I've competed a lot at events that are individual, and I've competed a lot at team events, as well as events that require putting out and working together. And I always reflect back on something my grandfather told me before he passed away. We don't get anywhere in life as individuals. And we have to find a team, build that team, be selective about the team that you build, and make sure that you don't forget that you didn't get anywhere in life without the help of others. I, for one, I forget that. I forgot that here, and I had a hard time, and I sat back and had some reflection, and I thought, you know what, you're right. This is an area for personal growth. And I looked around and I saw all of you helping each other. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for your help. In fact, I'm wearing Nick's shoes right now. I think you need to look around. Look at all the people that you spent the last 6 days with, to your left and to your right. Think of what they did to help you. And I bet there's a long list of things that they did to help each other. I saw every person here grow, pushing boundaries. You can tell that because they're shaking, and they're nervous, and they're not walking or talking right. And that's your subconscious fighting for something familiar, but everything that we did was unfamiliar. Right? We didn't choose to do any of those exercises. We were told, and we accepted the challenge. And so I'm proud of you, but you should be proud of yourselves. And you should look around and be proud of the people that are still here, because we all made it, right? So let's hear it for the team.
So Chris asked Don, if I win, is there any problem with me sharing the prize with Nick? Am I gonna say no? Of course I said yes. He saw Landon get up there. Probably against your better judgment, but you sacked up and you took the shot.
Well, in the morning, Bob came up and said, you're in the lead. We had a discussion the other day when you said that you wanted to split the winnings with Nick if you won, and now that you're leader, do you still want to do that? And I thought 100%. And I said, in fact, I'd like to split it 3 ways with Landon, Nick, and I.
So the dude comes up to me and says, can I share some more of my winnings with Landon? I said, let's do this. I'll put up 15 and the 3 of you.
He thought, holy shit, I'm just gonna throw in extra money. And so he upped the pot so that the 3 of us could split everything equally, and I felt like that was absolutely justified. I felt like if I was going to make a small team myself, those were the 2 guys that I would take with me. The Recon Marines have this saying, like, never above you, never below you, always beside you. And I think that if you truly believe that in your heart, then you pick the men and women that you're willing to say that to very carefully. That's how I felt about those 2. And I wanted to make it clear to them that that's how I felt. They performed and acted to a high standard the whole time. They made a commitment to come to compete, and they adjusted to the changes that were made at every step. And when you told either one of them, this is the objective that we're going after, they understood what that meant, and then they did whatever it took to get there.
But that's what I'm talking about when you say know people by their actions. So let's give them a hand.
We We're so very fortunate and blessed to get Randy as part of this. He's here because of his heart. He's a patriot, military veteran among everything else he's done in the world. So FX Bruno has given us something we can give to Randy as a token of our appreciation. Randy, this here. Randy, that's from FX Bruno, and on behalf of Surviving Man, we're so happy and proud that you were part of this.
Thank you, man. That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Nobody really wants to say goodbye, but this is really it. We really hope all of our paths cross again soon. It's going to be hard to say goodbye to everybody. My respect and admiration for each and every one of you is off the charts. Thank you so much for all you did.
I'm really sad that it's over. I kind of got emotional, like saying bye to everyone. I get very attached to people. I think this was a really awesome experience. There are some really awesome people, and it's kind of crazy to have watched personalities and people's characters have came out over the last 6 days. It's been awesome. Some of the individuals who were really quiet in the beginning really came out of their shell, and it's just a good group of people.
My overall experience on Surviving Man is positive, and I'm grateful to have been involved with it. It opened up doors for growth that I'm still exploring. I've read all of Don's books. I'm really excited about finding new opportunities to see how much I've grown and how successful I could be in the future, in addition to continuing to grow as an athlete and competitive shooter.
I usually end each episode with a message to you, the audience. But this time, I'd like to take a moment to address the contestants directly. On behalf of Don Mann, Randy Couture, the producers, and myself, I would like to thank each and every one of you for determination and grit way above what any one of us expected. It is your hard work that inspires us to continue creating this series. And speaking of which, I am pleased to announce that plans are underway to bring you Season 2 of Surviving Man in the very near future. Stay tuned.